Today, as part of our quick tips series of videos, we're going to look at something that creates a vast improvement on user experience with very minimal effort from a development side of things. It's something that if you've used planning analytics in combination with Cognos analytics in the past will probably be second nature to you. But if you've just worked with planning analytics in isolation, it may have been overlooked in your application. So the easiest way to show the issue I'm talking about is to go to a cube view we've set up previously. Now in this cube view we have our organization dimension in the rows and our time dimension in the columns. Our organization dimension is relatively deep with about 6 levels, and when a user comes in here they've got an ability to filter by sets or subsets, if you call them that. They have a ability to instead filter by levels. Now the levels here are just shown as level 0, level 1, level 2, etc. Now for a user, they're coming in here looking for all of the countries. They don't inherently know that that is level 3. It's not the hardest thing for them to learn it, but it is quite hard to remember it. Our time dimension, on the other hand, we have already applied some named levels here. So instead, they can see a total of all years, year or period, which is much easier for them to find what they're looking for. So we want to apply the same sort of named levels to our organization dimension. And to do that, we only need to do a couple of really easy steps. So first of all, I'm going to quickly add another tab, and I want to bring up a control object, a cube, that is called Hierarchy Properties. So I'll add that view into my tab here. And I'm going to just swap these dimensions around. So I'm looking at hierarchy 0 and my dimensions are now in the rows. The dimension that we were looking at in the cube view before was actually an alternative hierarchy called business unit map as part of the business unit dimension. So in here I want to name my levels with level 0 being the highest and going down. So I've got world, continent, subcontinent below that, and then we have country and province, and finally at the very lowest level we have business unit. Now once I've set these in here, I need to tell the system that it needs to use those. So to do that I'm going to create a new process, and I'm just going to call it set named levels, and all we need to put in here is a single TI function, so we don't need a data source. The function is called refresh MDX hierarchy, and with the control assist we can see that it has two parameters that I can put in, so that includes the dimension name and the hierarchy name. So I could have applied business unit and business unit map, and then it would have just put the named levels for the dimension hierarchy that we had set previously, but instead what I'm going to do here is just leave it with an empty string. And that tells it that I want it to set the named levels for every single dimension and hierarchy in the system based on what we put in that hierarchy properties cube. So when I run this process, it's already complete, and that's just a one-off. Now if I go back to my cube view from earlier and just wait for it to refresh, now when I go into my levels I can see they've got names, so I can bring up country much more easily. And for a user, they will find it vastly improved in terms of user experience. They will find what they want much easier, and it's something they may not thank you for, but overall it will be an improvement for them that will improve the usability. Now from a developer's point of view, there is also an added benefit that in the MDX side of things you can reference these named levels. So here I've got a simple statement which is my dimension name, my hierarchy name, my named level and dot members. So that should bring back all of the members that are part of the subcontinent named level. If I OK that, we see how easily that worked. And it's worth noting this isn't something that only applies to Planning Analytics Workspace. We can also utilise this in Planning Analytics for Excel. So if I log into the same application that I was using there in Workspace, and I just want to bring up the cube view that we were working with, and that was the sales cube. So inside the sales cube, there's the business unit dimension and the business unit map alternative hierarchy. And we can see we have our named levels now available in there for us to use as well. Overall, this is probably something that you could apply across an application for all of your dimensions within maybe half an hour's worth of work. And it's a one-off job, and then it's done forever until you create a new dimension or change an existing one. It is worth noting that it's not so easy to apply named levels to a ragged hierarchy, of course, but if you've got structured even hierarchies, which generally you will find in things like time dimensions, organization as we saw there, product, account, probably most of your dimensions across the application, this can be of benefit. So thank you for watching.